Find out where to be and what to do for the eclipse experience of a lifetime. The 2024 total solar eclipse is set to be a major event. It's set to be the longest totality on land for over a decade. So expect eclipse chasers from around the world to visit the path of totality. During a total solar eclipse, the moon appears almost exactly the same size as the sun. So it blocks the entire disk for a few minutes. The result is a beautiful totality during which the sun's corona is visible to the naked eye. Here's everything you need to know about this rare event. The total solar eclipse on April 8th is causing such a stir because the rare event is an astronomical experience like no other that will be unusually accessible to millions of people. To witness this incredible total solar eclipse, watch the complete video. It will be helpful. When the Earth is furthest from the Sun, making the star appear smaller, and the Moon is closest to the Earth, which makes the Moon look big, totality can last for over 7 minutes. As Astronomy Mag reports, these circumstances will line up in about 160 years. When a solar eclipse on July 16, 2186, we'll see almost 7.5 minutes of totality. On the other extreme, if the Earth is at its closest point to the Sun and the Moon is at its furthest point from Earth, humans won't see a total solar eclipse, even if all of the celestial bodies are in line. Since totality is all about the perspective of the viewer, this is also why each city will experience the 2024 eclipse differently. The Monday, April 8, 2024, total solar eclipse will cross North America, passing over Mexico, the United States, and Canada. The totality of the solar eclipse will be visible in a narrow strip on the Pacific Ocean, passing 230 miles north of the Marquesas Islands and later in North America, beginning at the Pacific coast, then ascending in a northeasterly direction through Mexico, the United States, and Canada, before ending in the Atlantic Ocean. Occurring only one day after perigee on Sunday, April 7, 2024. The Moon's apparent diameter will be 5.5% larger than average, with a magnitude of 1.0566. Its longest duration of totality will be of 4 minutes and 28.13 seconds near the Mexican town of Nazas, Durango, and the nearby city of Torreon, Coahuila. The path of the eclipse continues from Mexico, entering the United States in Texas, and traveling through Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Small parts of Tennessee and Michigan will also experience the total solar eclipse. The eclipse will enter Canada in southern Ontario, and continue through Quebec, New Brunswick, Prince Edward Island, and Cape Breton. The eclipse will exit continental North America on the Atlantic coast of Newfoundland, Canada. This year, totality will last for a little over 4 minutes in some areas, which is significantly more than the 2 minutes that people experienced during the 2017 eclipse, as NASA notes. During the 2017 total solar eclipse, the Moon was a little bit farther away from Earth than it will be during the upcoming total solar eclipse, causing the path of that eclipse to be a little skinnier. 7 years ago, the path of totality, which shows which parts of the world will be able to see the total solar eclipse, was only about 62 to 71 miles wide. This year, that path ranges from 108 to 122 miles wide, meaning at any given moment this eclipse covers more ground, NASA explains. Weather during the eclipse. April is a month of changeable weather along the eclipse path. Over Mexico and the southern United States, afternoon convective buildups are a common part of the climate, while northern regions are still immersed in late winter and early spring weather. with passing low-pressure disturbances that can bring rain, snow, or anything in between. Of all of the elements important to eclipse viewing, eclipse day cloud cover is likely the most important unless severe storms are present across the south, or spring storms with blizzard-like conditions are passing in the north. In general, the cloud pattern is fairly simple. Lowest average cloud amounts are found in the south, particularly in Mexico, while the greatest amounts are found in the northeastern United States and Canada. A partial solar eclipse will be visible in all of the other parts of the contiguous United States. As for Alaska, it will be visible only in southeast Alaska, Alaska Panhandle. Canada. In Canada, the path of totality will pass over parts of southern Ontario, including Leamington, Hamilton, Niagara Falls, Kingston, Prince Edward County, and Cornwall, parts of southern Quebec, including Montreal, Sherbrooke, St. George and Lac-Mégantic, central New Brunswick, including Fredericton and Miramichi, western Prince Edward Island, including Tignish and Summerside, the northern tip of Cape Breton Island, Nova Scotia, and central Newfoundland, including Gander and Grand Falls Windsor. Then, it will vanish on the eastern Atlantic coast of Newfoundland. Some of the Canadian cities listed, such as Hamilton and Montreal, are on an edge of the path of totality. Windsor, London, Toronto, and Ottawa lie just north of the path of totality, and Moncton lies just south of it. A partial solar eclipse will be visible in all of the other parts of Canada, except the western part of Yukon and the western tip of the Northwest Territories. Europe. The eclipse will be partially seen in Svalbard, Norway, Iceland, Ireland, western parts of Great Britain, northwest parts of Spain and Portugal, the Azores and Canary Islands. Unusually, this eclipse extends below the horizon, where the greatest phase is to be observed at mid-nautical twilight in Galicia, Spain, and the beginning of astronomical twilight in Nouvelle-Aquitaine, France. The extension of the eclipse path within the twilight zone will create probably the best observation window for the 12P/Pons-Brooks comet located closely to Jupiter. Central America and South America. The eclipse will be partially seen in all Central American countries, from Belize to Panama, all the Greater Antilles, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Haiti, Puerto Rico and Jamaica, and northern South America, Colombia. Oceania. The eclipse will be partially seen in Hawaii, eastern Kiribati, eastern Phoenix Islands and the whole Line Islands, Tokelau, American Samoa except its extreme western part, Cook Islands, French Polynesia, and Pitcairn Islands. Although all located east of the 180th meridian. Get the full experience in person. If you're in a narrow band of U.S. land that spans from Texas to Maine, you will see the moon block the sun and its shadow cast a night-like darkness over Earth for a few minutes. You'll briefly be able to look up without eye protection and see the moon block the sun. Watch from outside the path of totality. Much of the U.S. will get a partial view of the eclipse that isn't nearly as impressive as being in the path of totality. Earth won't be plunged into complete darkness and you'll have to wear protective eyewear to see the moon partially block the sun. The shadow of the moon goes through several time zones. Check the local time to ensure you don't miss the total phase of the solar eclipse, which only lasts about 4 minutes. To determine the precise start time, end time, and duration of totality for your exact location on eclipse day, Use this interactive eclipse map developed by timeanddate.com. Eye safety for total solar eclipses. Here are some important safety guidelines to follow during a total solar eclipse. View the sun through eclipse glasses or a handheld solar viewer during the partial eclipse phases before and after totality. You can view the eclipse directly without proper eye protection only when the moon completely obscures the sun's bright face, during the brief and spectacular period known as totality. You'll know it's safe when you can no longer see any part of the sun through eclipse glasses or a solar viewer. As soon as you see even a little bit of the bright sun reappear after totality, immediately put your eclipse glasses back on or use a handheld solar viewer to look at the sun's skin safety. Even during a partial or annular eclipse, or during the partial phases of a total eclipse, the sun will still be very bright. If you are watching an entire eclipse, you may be in direct sunlight for hours. Remember to wear sunscreen, a hat, and protective clothing to prevent skin damage. Seek expert advice from an astronomer before using a solar filter with a camera, telescope, binoculars, or any other optical device. Note that solar filters must be attached to the front of any telescope, binoculars, camera lens, or other optics. If you cannot witness the solar eclipse in person, you can watch all the action unfold here on YouTube live stream.